Are you looking for a way to help your brick-and-mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick-and-mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick-and-mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build-out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back to episode number 33 of the Receipt Paper Podcast. I am one of your two hosts, Kyle Strubing. I'm here with my life partner, business partner in crime, Joanne Strubing. Jojo, baby, how we doing today?
We are good. We are great.
33, double threes.
Episode 33. We've been chugging right along. We've almost been podcasting for almost a year now, so that's pretty exciting. Not quite, but
Yeah, no, it's going good. Hopefully everybody's getting a bunch of value out of it. And if you have any feedback, always, guys, let us know for sure.
yeah, it's been really exciting. A couple of you have been reaching out over Instagram and asking questions and hearing from you and what type of business you're opening. And it's so fun to talk to you guys out there that are listening in. So reach out to us on Instagram at Master Brick and Mortar. We love hearing from you. Before we dive into today's topic, which is all about cost saving tips for your business build outs, I wanted to mention that we do have a free masterclass currently available about the 5 things you need to know before you open a brick and mortar business. So if you are an aspiring brick and mortar business owner or just getting started in the world of brick and mortar business, we share with you all the things that we wish somebody would have told us that would have saved us so much time, money, energy, and frustration in the process. So check out that free masterclass. You can grab that at masterbrickandmortar.com and enroll there.
Well, not even for your newbies, right? Or people that don't have a business, for people that already have something. Like something came up this weekend with us, and I was kind of thrown for a little tailspin. I get a little emotional and stuff like that. But Joanne just reverted back to some of the things that we go through when now we took some of our own advice. Let's put it that way. Joanne's looking at me cross-eyed, but having somebody enter into our territory, let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Competition's always great and everything. And I was kind of, and Joanne just mentioned a lot of stuff, and the stuff that's directly on the stuff at Master Brick and Mortar for sure. So
Yeah.
it's literal things that we live, breathe. It's not smoke and mirrors, I promise you.
Yeah, so we just finished our rebrand, and which is leading with more of our services, and we're 2 months out of that, and we just found out somebody's opening across the street doing half of the same services that we are. So
Yeah.
and but it took us back, because when we opened 5 years ago, the same thing happened. 6 months into business, we had opened a CBD store. Somebody half a mile away opened
Not
a
even
CBD
half
store.
a mile.
Yeah, not even.
Half a block.
Yes. And you know what? It didn't affect us, because
Right.
we did the things that we teach and preach, which is, setting ourselves apart and really differentiating ourselves and taking the time to do all of that. So, for those of you that are scared of the competition out there, that's a great one. We're definitely, we definitely are taking a step and making sure that we are truly differentiating ourselves and leaning in harder on those things that make us so unique. But we know we can do it because we've done it before.
It's got me locked in for sure. It's got me working a little.
Excited.
It gets me a little like
Competition. We got this.
A little bit. Yeah, no, I'm not mad about it. And honestly, we look at it as a positive. Hopefully they get so dang busy that, people are calling me that they can't get in, and we're busy too, so
Yeah.
it's really,
Doesn't have to go around.
yeah, yeah. So it's just wasted energy, honestly. So,
Love
but
it.
yeah, yeah. So that's, like I said, tie it back to, a lot of that stuff is covered in the
That
academy,
master class.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. But if you want, we could get to Dollar Smart Storefront cost saving tips for business build outs. That's a mouthful, but we have 11 things for you, 11 bullet points for you, and we'll go into it. All very actionable, all good stuff. You know how we operate for sure. But one of the biggest mistakes that we're seeing now uh, is that people want insane amounts for their build out. And it is or contractors want insane amounts for these build outs, and it's taking business owners a ton of time to recoup that money. So what we're trying to do here is find ways to decrease that build out expense that will get you to a profitable status sooner, right? Faster in, faster out. So we are going to walk you through those 11 ways, 11 opportunities to save on that build out. I just want you guys to keep kind of an open mind on this. Go with us a little bit here, I promise. And just remember to start simple, right? And get fancy later. Start simple, get fancy later. One of the building blocks that we have for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll say it time and time again. But when we have this discussion, a lot of people almost feel heartbroken, like, I want to save money on this, or no, I want the fancy stuff. But I'm telling you, it will pay off for your business if you can start more simple, get fancy down the road. The way you start your business and open your business today, I promise you, your business is going to look so different in 5 years.
Right.
I mean, we just finished our rebrand, but it's amazing to see how far our business has come. So just know that there is room to grow, but you got to make sure that you're profitable so that you can still be there in 5 years to
Right.
grow and add and
We
evolve.
applied a lot of these tips the first time. I think after we did, I mean, we were definitely on that by the time we did our third store. That was something that was really, it was really important and did well for us. But this we notice even more now with the build out. It's been very laser focused, and we've really prioritized things. So
Mhm.
without further ado, Jojo, you want to start off and go with bullet point number one?
Yeah, so grab your pen and paper, your notebook. Number one is your budget. You have to have a budget. So not having a budget, you have no idea where your expenses are going to be going. So I want you to really spend time and create that startup budget, one that you can actually stick to. So you want to be realistic. You don't want to give yourself too small of a budget, and you don't want to give yourself too large of a budget if you don't have the funds, right? So if you haven't created your budget yet, I want you to hop over to episode number 27. You can find that at masterbrickandmortar.com/27. And that one is all about cracking the startup cost code, where I share with you everything that you need to include in your startup budget, so you know every single line item that you should be thinking about. So create a budget and stick to it. Number one.
Right, number one for sure. It's tough, but you need to figure out what you can and can't do. We're not putting ourselves behind the eight ball for sure.
Mhm.
Number two is getting a second generation unit. This is one of the easiest ways
Mhm.
to obtain, to cut down on a lot of that. Most of them that we have done are second gen units. Excuse me. That way you're not funding.
Yeah, why don't you explain what a first gen versus second
Sure.
gen? Yeah.
First gen is like a skeleton. You go to the unit, there's no pipes. There's pipes there, but it's not finished. It's not built out.
Yeah.
You were the first one to move into that business. Maybe not even necessarily, or it just depends on the status that it's in
Yeah.
right now. Is it just no drywall and bare bones metal studs? Or, so that means that you're then having to purchase, or you're funding then the bathroom, some common
Plumbing,
areas,
electric,
plumbing, all of that,
walls,
walls,
paint.
absolutely
Yeah.
everything, literally everything.
You're starting fresh.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is nice, right? There's trade-offs to all this, which is nice because you can make it exactly how you want, but also you're funding that. So that is the biggest downturn. We've done well with second generation units, and then kind of tailoring that to what we do. And that really helped us offset the cost. because, there are some allowances for build out, like build a suit or, like make readies, but they're never going to cover all of it.
No.
They're never going to cover all of it. And you're going to be funding that. And then what happens when you leave? Or you're not going to wreck everything. So
Yeah.
you're basically finishing out the building for the landlord. So there's trade-offs
Yeah.
for sure.
This has to be the number one way to save money. Like
Yeah.
if on
Yeah.
all of these things, this is where you're going to reduce your cost the most. I mean, this is the difference of spending 250,000 and 50,000. And
Yeah.
it's so
And it
huge.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many people like want that brand new unit they want to build. And, you know, I think it's great if you can do that, if you have the funds to truly do that and you know that you can make those funds back in return. But
That's the big point. You have to make the funds back in return,
yeah.
right? I mean, like, this isn't your house.
Hmm.
This is a functional thing that makes you money. Like, it
Yeah.
has to be.
You're renting a unit.
You,
It's
yeah.
not buying a home
Yes.
or unless you are if you're buying the property, that's a totally
Sure.
different story here. But for the most part, if you're just renting this, you know, you have to take a look at what your business is. If you have a very unique business, maybe it's a restaurant concept that's, very unique and there's no way you can take something existing that is already out there and make it your own. Then I get it. But most of you really just need like a 500 square foot showroom that you can sell your products or, turn into a cafe or, you could work with something that's out there. So what I recommend that a lot of you do is go look for those second gen units, but look for not only that, but look for units that are similar to the build you already want.
Right.
Is there already a kitchen in there? Is there already a
Individual rooms.
individual service rooms?
Right.
Is there already a store showroom with a inventory in the back? So, and not to say like every unit we've always done has been a second generation unit. We've had to take down walls a couple times, but we've never had to put any up. So, yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Huge
Huge
difference.
difference.
Huge
So
difference.
I think we stuck on
And
this one for a while, but it's so big. It's such a
and
big
and
one.
you learn to work with what you have too. Like your business can kind of evolve. When we got the first one, we didn't want that specific unit. Long story short, it's just we weren't forced to, but we had to take that one. And I didn't like it at first, and then the things that I didn't like after having worked there for 6 months in the store were the best parts of the whole store. So like I'm talking about like those glass shelves. It was like I didn't love it, but it was already ready for what we were trying to do, and it
Mhm.
really helped. It really, really helped.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you're looking for locations, I want you to take that into consideration. Is this a white box unit and is this a second gen unit? And really, really consider what this means for your business, one versus the other. And then secondly, if you're looking at second gen units, look for ones that already meet the needs of your business so you don't have to do as much construction.
Sure. For sure. All right, number three, I'll go with that one is secondhand furniture and decor. So that it says purchase gently used or secondhand store fixtures, shelving, and display items to reduce upfront costs.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
it's pretty, I mean, it's amazing what you can find out there. We found some gems on Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace for decor. We've built our shelving.
Yeah.
We did some DIY with some of our stores and they turned out great. Actually, we get tons of compliments. So, you'd be amazed by what you can find depending on what your aesthetic is. Go look around. It's just an easy way to save money, and not buy brand new
Yeah, a
on
little
everything. Yeah.
spray paint and elbow grease can go a long way
Yeah.
here. I will
We
say that
paint
for sure.
everything.
Yeah, we do. We
We
spray
do
spray paint everything
it.
for sure.
All right, number 4 is to set up a business wholesale account to purchase materials. And I think a lot of us, when you're brand new to the world of brick and mortar business, you forget that you're a business now. So businesses get perks. A lot of these businesses will sell you things at a lower wholesale rate, so you can decrease your costs. There's a lot of building supply stores out there that you can shop at if you are a business. Like that you can't really, as if you're just
Sure.
residential. Like if you're going to buy paint, sometimes you can set up a business account, things like that. So don't forget about that. Even Amazon, you can set up an Amazon business account to buy things, and a lot of those things will be lower rates than we as everyday consumers get. So check out all those things. Always look to see if you can set up a business or wholesale account, and see if that can help you reduce your rates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 5 is going to be thrifty interior decor. So at this place, right? I mean, unless y'all got the budget, there's no need to be at, what is this? I wouldn't even know. We don't even frequent these places. But like you don't want something super higher end. Like there's no Neiman Marcus of decor or whatever. But what we're looking at is more Hobby Lobby, Facebook Marketplace, thrift stores, Dollar General, just being open to things
Yeah.
and seeing things. I mean, it's not really my forte. This is more JoJo. She's got the design eye, but I,
Yeah.
I see it in action.
I was amazed. Like started falling in love with Hobby Lobby and their decor. They have some really cool stuff that could display product, and I was like, wow! And it was really low cost. You'd be amazed what you can find at the dollar store. There's a new place called Pop Shelf. I've been
Yeah.
frequenting. I haven't gotten Kyle in there yet, but um, and they have great little display items and things that you can put product in. So don't think that you need to get these high-end retail displays.
Industrial strength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are out there, but you can also, some of it looks a little more creative and a little
Right.
more higher end if you actually use some of these other items. So see what's out there. Don't think you have to get the most expensive high-end stuff.
Right. 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 Right.
All right, number 6 is bust out your DIY. So do it yourself. So learn things, learn to build things. Don't be afraid to do the painting on your own rather than hiring someone. I mean, it sucks every time Kyle and I do it. We say we're never doing it again. And then the next time it comes to it, we don't want to spend the money. And so we wind up painting the walls ourselves. But it is a huge way to reduce the cost. So things like painting, things like building shelves, I mean, I wouldn't, some of that, the plumbing, electrical, let's pay an expert for some of that. We want it done right, unless you have a trade or skill there. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do yourself. I've seen business owners lay their own tile and flooring, put in their own lighting fixtures. Like a lot of that stuff, just consider. Don't think that you have to have a contractor do all of that. You can
Yeah.
take some of that on. I think a lot of people will go talk to an architect or a general contractor, and they're giving you bids for all of this stuff included, but you can go through that and say, you know what, nope, I'm going to paint myself, I'll put up these lights on my own, I will do this, so I just want you to do this, and like you can pick and choose. You don't have to have it all done, right?
Right. Yeah. This is huge. This has been huge for us. I think we
Yeah,
saved tens of thousands of dollars on this.
yeah.
Just because we're not afraid to grab a paintbrush, right? I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to lean on friends
Mhm.
or, hop on a YouTube video.
Yeah,
Luckily, my father is a master carpenter, so I can pick his brain about a lot of stuff. And
but he lives in
he
Chicago,
lives in
so
Chicago, so I still got to do it myself, but it's big. The other thing with DIY, I will say, having done this now the second time, having done first store the second time, is when you do it yourself, you can build it to the exact specs that you want.
hmm
When we did now that we're starting to do some of the walls and stuff like that, but like I can create, or when we redid the counter, I knew exactly how I wanted to do it because I had been there before, and I was no point in me just buying something cookie cutter.
yeah,
We had to I had to do the thing myself because it was a certain way that I wanted it. I wanted, it to overlap. I wanted it to be a certain height. A lot of things aren't custom made or sized for what you're trying to do, or
hmm
nor will it always look like you're talking bigger, different dimensions too. Like sometimes within your house, it's a different dimension than it is in your store, and there's
yeah.
different sight lines. So are they going to have this oversized, piece of furniture or display case? Probably not. And if you can do a little woodworking and ask a couple questions, you can pretty much take it real far. And then it's just a more effective tool that you did save a bunch of money on as well.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too that we really didn't know until we were a year or two in was that once you start working in your space, you're going to realize that you have a lot of needs that you probably don't
Right.
know at this point until you're in there, until you're running around all day. Like we realize, okay, we actually really, customers are gravitating to this part of our sales counter. They need to be standing over on this side. It's getting really crowded over here. We're sampling over here. But those were things that we wouldn't have known until we just started. So I just take that into consideration that things don't need to be perfect because you might want to change things. So, maybe do a lower end, easy build sales counter right now, knowing that in a year I'm going to build one the way I like once I know exactly how I want
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So just take those things into consideration and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and do some of this yourself.
Yeah. It's been a huge difference for us for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, let's recap 1 through 6 real quick before we dive into the rest. We've got number 1, which is have a budget and stick to it. Number 2 is you going with a second generation unit rather than a white box empty first generation unit. Number 3, secondhand furniture and decor. Number 4, look for business wholesale accounts. Number 5, find thrifty interior decor. And number 6 was DIY, do it yourself. So moving on to number 7, which is go with the basic on the security side. So a lot of people, when they're first in business, if you reach out to security companies, you're going to get some insane quotes. Like we were getting some crazy stuff as far as cameras. And to be honest, it was very overpriced out there. It's rare that I see a decent security quote. So go find security cameras, Amazon. I've got a wish list out there called it's our tools of the trade resource for you where I've got some recommendations on there. But this is where you can just go ahead and get cameras, install them yourself instead of paying somebody else to do it. And then we just pay for our month. The only monthly thing we pay for is our alarm. I think we use ADT, 60
Which
bucks
we
a
have
month.
to have per the city
Yeah.
too, to be honest.
I highly recommend that you do have an alarm system. You want to be
Yeah.
notified of that, but do you need something
Alarm
super
system and a
robust?
camera on the
Yeah.
cash register. I
Yeah.
mean, unless you're 17 employees running in and out of there, like it's not as necessary. You want something on the door and the cash register, really.
Yeah.
There's so much people try to sell you on all this stuff, and it's just not as necessary. Like we just added another ring camera onto the business so that we have all the functionality, and yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that there's opportunity to save there for sure.
Yeah. And if you do have a requirement for exterior security, check with your landlord or management company. A lot of times they will cover that cost. So, or they should be. All right, number 8, Kyle, you want to?
Number 8 is paint the ceiling or the floors instead of replacing. So if you look inside of my nose and my ears, you can see all the black paint that's accrued over there over the years. But no, this is one of our favorite things that we do. It just cleans everything up. And it's way cheaper than replacing acoustic tile and way cheaper than replacing the floor. And it just adds to the whole thing. It just makes it look that much nicer for sure.
Yeah, it's incredible what you can do. Like Kyle and I mean, I swear our motto sometimes is just slap some paint on it.
Yeah.
But, ceiling tiles, just paint them a tan or a white color, just freshen them up a little bit. Especially if they just have some stains and you don't want to replace all 1,000 of them. Floors, we actually 2 years ago discovered painting the floors. That doesn't look half bad. It actually looked pretty great. So it does take a little time and a little finesse, but it looked great. And we've done this with the intention to replace the tile in a couple of years, but it is a nice fix to do in the meantime until you have the budget to do so. So great way to save money is painting ceiling, floors. I mean, spray paint, bust out the spray paint.
And do where you can, right? And I'm not saying do your whole store like that or whatever. Like there's other tile spots that are super high traffic that have salt that we've paid and purchased the upgrade in tile, right?
Mhm.
But that was necessary. It's not necessary all over the place.
Yeah.
And you pick and choose your opportunities, and dollars, cents lead to dollars, right? When they say ounces lead to pounds, I mean, it all adds up. So that's definitely something that is a nice quick fix. It smells like hell, don't get me wrong, but it's something that can be done. And there's videos and stuff of ways and things. Ask around. You can find you can do this. It's
Yeah.
not that hard.
Yeah.
It really isn't that hard.
Yeah. And just an additional tip here is I was so hell bent in the beginning. Like the whole place needed to be painted, even the back room, it needed to look nice. And when we first opened, we didn't have services. None of those rooms in the back were even being seen by the customers. In fact, our restroom wasn't even really being used. Like it was just like there was so much that we took on that really could have waited. So if you have parts of your storefront that are not going to be seen, focus on what is going to be seen and what you have to do to get the doors of your business open, and then do the rest
I
after.
mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great time when nothing's in there to put a fresh coat of paint on there. But the name of the game, especially when you're opening, is to get open as fast as you can. Because you're paying rent on it. Either you are paying rent or you're not, right? If you're not paying rent, you've negotiated something in your lease to give you the first couple months. That's money that you want to be, I mean, you want to be rocking and rolling by then and not messing around with what the color of the bathroom looks like. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. And then when you're using this stuff too, right? Number nine is going to be getting some used equipment, right? Getting stuff like cash registers, point of sales, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Refurbished options to save money, man. Like that's to save money or negotiate that too within your terms, right? As you're getting a new point of sale, like where's the hardware coming from? They have a lot of that stuff. Ask that as an option, or even referring to there's refurbished cameras and stuff that Ring has that we've used that have been fantastic. So use that as an option,
Yeah.
you know.
The other thing is a lot of people that have service-based businesses, I know you're scared to get used equipment or you want that shiny, flashy, brand new equipment. But if you can get a, $50,000 tanning bed rather than $100,000 tanning bed, I don't know, I'm just making something up here, but that's a huge difference. So don't be afraid to get the used equipment. Of course, do your due diligence and really vet it out, make sure it's in good condition and what you want to present to the customers. But a lot of you don't need brand new. Like with our float tanks, we bought pre-used and it
Right.
helped us
So
save
I wouldn't recommend for
tremendously.
everybody,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's something that's definitely big. I mean, and it saved us. What it did is we still would have made the money and it would have been worth it for us to buy the brand new. But what it did is allowed us to be paid off and making money on that tank in 6 months as opposed to 3 years. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it really cut down on
And
that.
in turn, then after that, we went and bought some
Right,
brand new equipment, and
right,
it provided us the ability to do
right.
so. So, if you don't have the budget, consider that as an option until you do. This is all just about having cash flow and moving forward.
Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo. The cash flow allowed us to get the business financing to get the other newer equipment and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So, take all that into account. I know this is a lot.
Yeah.
I
But
know. We're
tips
giving a
today.
lot here.
I think you can get even one or two of these things if you can implement will save you a ton. All right, so let's move on to number 10, which is going to be ask for financing options. Oh my gosh, I'm doing another episode with Midas Financial coming up next week, and I'm so excited about this one. We're going to be talking about the myths about financing, but one of them, and we'll dive into this next week, but just as a sneak peek, is that so many of you are so scared to finance. You look at it as a negative thing, like a bad thing. Oh, I don't have the cash. I have to go finance. But as a business owner, this is how you grow.
Right.
This is how your business grows. There's not one successful large business out there that has not used financing or capital or some sorts of investment. This is how businesses grow and this is how businesses are made. So don't look at financing as a negative thing. If you need a large, $500,000 of equipment, I would rather you finance that than go put every penny you own in that and then not have any cash to spend on anything else, if that
Right.
makes sense. So go look at those financing options. Our number one always is Midas Financial. I'll put the link to them in the show notes. They do an incredible job, whether you're looking to get equipment financing or just startup cost loans. They let's get it going, baby. Let's get your business moving.
Yeah,
And
baby.
I'm all about it. When I want to do something, I go look for financing to make it happen. So,
Yeah, we don't look at it also as like a $50,000 investment. We look at it as like, okay, over the course of what, let's say it's $1,000 a month. How can I, is this going to drive $1,000 a month worth of business for us? Absolutely. Like
mm,
that's how I look at it. Or is it going to drive 2,000 to cover that? Whatever the number is, you just have to kind of break it down and figure out what the value it brings to you as well,
mhm.
and that you're using that accordingly.
Yeah. All right. And then number 11, Kyle mentioned this earlier, but it's ensuring that you are asking for that rent abatement period. Remember, rent abatement is what you can ask for, basically the opportunity to not pay rent while you're doing your build out process. So you'll negotiate a specific amount of months, like 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 months that you aren't paying rent, so that while you're doing that build out, you don't have that cost to incur, and you can focus on your build out. Now, the real trick to the trade here is opening before that rent abatement period is
That's the goal.
over. So then you're bringing in sales and revenue and you're still not paying rent.
Right.
That's always our goal, is to get open as fast as I can. Kyle and I are obsessed with doing like these 30-day build outs, and it's insane. But I'm telling you, it's great when you can start a business off and you don't have that expense of paying rent and you're already bringing in sales.
Yeah,
It's
that's
huge.
huge. That's huge. I was a much younger man then. We I was
Yeah,
able to
we might do it now,
pull
but
these overnighters, but I mean, we do it.
we like it.
What else are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
How bad you want it? I mean, really, how bad do you want it? Do you want to be able to save? Do you want to, sacrifice? And now it's just a way of living now. That's what matters. And we're building our empire.
Yeah, true. All right, so we gave a ton of nuggets today. Kyle, why don't you recap all of them
Oh,
for
okay.
us?
Thank you. So we have 11 total bullet points on this, cost cutting tips, tactics, if you will, on how to help with the build out and things like that. Get you started. Number one is budget. Start a budget. Get one. Stick to it, bud. Number two, second generation units. This is one of our 10 commandments for sure. Want to get that second gen unit. That way, the cost of your basic things, necessary things like, common areas and bathrooms, stuff like that, electrical is all covered. You're not paying for that. Number three, secondhand furniture and decor. Purchasing gently used things, cleaning them up, spray painting them up, whatever, and throwing them in the store. It's a nice, easy way to cut down on some of that expense. Number four, use your wholesale account to purchase materials. Keep in mind, you are now a business now. Once you have, was it like a resale, would you say, or an EIN?
Yeah.
Well, either way, yeah, both. So you use those. You're official, so flaunt it, right? Number five, have some thrifty interior decor, all about the decor. Shop for budget-friendly paint, and paint the decor. I'm sorry. Go to Hobby Lobby, dollar store, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, garage sales, all that stuff. Number six, DIY. I'm the king of DIY. DIY till I DIE, I guess.
Don't shop for budget friendly paint.
Don't.
I think you should go ahead and buy the paint not on a budget.
So
No.
shop for budget
Budget friendly decor. Let's
stuff,
just move on. Okay. Moving on, number 6.
and
Sorry to
then paint
interrupt
the
you.
decor. Okay. Number six is DIY till I DIE. Do things on your own, learn, ask questions, save yourself a bunch of money. Number seven, basic security here. Scale it is what we're going for. You could use things like refurbished stuff and then go from there. You don't need to get this place locked down like Fort Knox. Number eight is paint the ceiling or the floors instead of replacing. This is this is part of the secret sauce that we have for sure. We do this all the time. It's keeps it fresh, keeps it new, and it's just very cost effective. Number nine is having used equipment. We have definitely dominated in this, I would say. It allowed us to go from, like I said, from making something a huge purchase. We just pay the thing off a lot faster. Number 10, ask for financing options on big purchases like, storefronts, signs, things like that. Cash is king. So we want to keep as much as we can. We want to be paying, especially in the beginning, as much on marketing and product as we can in the beginning, especially, right? Number 11, the final one is make sure that you're asking for rent abatement during your build out. So you could be paying rent costs as opposed to building their store out for them, guys. We talk about this all the time. It is very key. Definitely ask for sure, for sure. So that's about it, huh? That's all 11, I believe, right?
I hope this has excited you. I know there's a lot going on and the expenses out there are increasing for commercial build outs, but there's ways that you can still decrease on these expenses. So even if you just take one or two of these things and really hone in on them, I think that you are going to find some big results from it. Go visit the show notes for all the links that we mentioned in today's episode, and don't forget to register for our free masterclass. You can find that at masterbrick-and-mortar.com/33, and tune in next week where I'll be diving into all the myths of business financing and how to get financing for your business. All right, we'll see you soon, friends.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Receipt Paper Podcast, your go-to source of information for starting and growing a successful brick-and-mortar business. Subscribe to hear future episodes and share this content so that more people can access these valuable insights. If you're looking for more resources to help you with your brick-and-mortar business, visit masterbrickandmortar.com or follow us on Instagram at masterbrickandmortar. Thanks again for listening to the Receipt Paper Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.